Hare Krishna. Claiming the assumption to be the conclusion is a deception. Science has proven that the soul doesn't exist. So claim materialists who deride spiritualists for being unscientific. However, science has not proven the non-existence of the soul. Not only has science not done this in practice, science cannot do it even in principle. At least as long as science adopts naturalism as its operational methodology. So what does it mean? Science is a tool, is a tool for acquiring knowledge of the world. Or science, we could say, now while using particular tools, we adopt certain strategies, certain methodologies. So, for example, say if a person goes into a building to find out what all is there in the building, and the person will be able to see what is there and will be able to sense it. But if the person puts earplugs on the ears and then goes into the building, then the person will not perceive any sound over there. So similarly, naturalism as a methodology assumes that actually to study nature, naturalism assumes as an act of faith right at the beginning that all natural phenomena have natural explanations. That whatever happens in nature, it can be explained in terms of nature. Now, is there any logical reason it should be like that? Not necessarily. But this is what naturalism assumes. So, that's why what happens is that science always looks for natural explanations for natural phenomena, at least as long as it is wedded to the methodology of naturalism. Now, what happens further is that because the soul is by definition non-material or spiritual. Now, in the methodology of naturalism, natural essentially means material. So, science looks at the material of phenomena in the universe and tries to find material causes that explain those phenomena. Now, the soul by definition is spiritual, being of a category different from matter. This is pointed out in the Bhagavad Gita, na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata, ubhayor api drishtontas tvanayos tattvadarshibhi. Those who are seers of the truth, they have pointed out that ubhayo, there are two things to be observed, that there is matter and there is spirit. And of the spirit, there is no cessation. Of the matter, there is no endurance. So this is a founding observation. Now, this is a founding assumption of naturalism. So, right from the beginning itself, because of this assumption of looking for natural or material causes, the soul gets ruled out of the scope of naturalist science. Now, if something is ruled out right in the beginning, then its non-existence can't be claimed to be a conclusion, isn't it? How is that logical? So, for example, as I said, that if a person plugs the ears, then the person can't claim at the end of the journey that there is no sound in the house. All the person can say honestly is that I didn't hear any sound in the house. In fact, I had chosen to shut out all the sound. So I can't make any statement about whether there is sound or not. That would be an honest statement that could be made by an explorer like that. So science, similarly, at least naturalist science, rules out the possibility of the soul goes out of the soul gets out of the scope of naturalist science. So agnosticism would be the honest response of a scientist. We can't know whether the soul exists or not. But materialists, so materialism is one philosophy, science is one tool. Science is a respected tool in today's society. So materialists want to misappropriate the prestige of science to promote their belief system. They want to portray that our belief system, that is materialism, is scientific, and therefore you should adopt our belief system. But the two are different things. Science is a tool for acquiring knowledge, materialism is a belief system. And because materialists want to misappropriate the prestige of science, so that which is an assumption in naturalist science, they try to prove it as they try to portray it as the conclusion of science. No, it is not. To call the assumption as the conclusion is deception. It is deception. So now, where does this leave us? Are we saying that science is wrong or naturalism is wrong, or what is the point of this discussion, we may wonder. The point is that naturalism as a methodology has its utility. Now, to study the outer world, which is mostly made of material things, naturalism can give us some understanding of the outer world. But when we move towards the inner world, there consciousness is the primary reality, and consciousness is essentially non-material. It is the perceiver and experiencer of matter. It is not matter. So so when the methodology of naturalism is adopted for studying the inner world, then it is not an aid, it becomes an obstacle. Why an obstacle? Because it just can't study consciousness, because consciousness has to be reduced to material terms, and then it's no longer consciousness. It is just the brain signals that correlate with consciousness. So now, that is why now the inadequacy of naturalism as a methodology. So what do we mean by methodology? Methodology is one particular approach. Just like if a team is playing cricket, then they may use a spin attack as a methodology. So now it is not that all bowling has to be spin bowling, but one particular methodology has been adopted. Now if the pitch is conducive for spin bowling, then you use spin bowling. But when the pitch is no longer conducive, so what worked on one pitch, if you are going to play another pitch where actually the pitch is not at all conducive for spin bowling, it is conducive for pace bowling, then a different strategy, a different methodology is required. So just as methodology has to be chosen according to the field of operation, so similarly with respect to our study science, with respect to science also, when we want to study the inner world, science as a methodology, naturalism as a methodology is inadequate, and that's why there are many well-documented cases of near-death experiences, of past life memories, which have no natural explanation. The whole brain had stopped working. As per biologically, the person was unconscious, but still the person was conscious and reported accurately things that happened during the time of the near-death experience. Or one person is dead and another person at another place who has never met this person, who has no normal natural way by which the second child could know about this person, still knows precise, astonishing details. So such explanations actually point to what? Point to the inadequacy of naturalism. That means we should be open to non-natural factors also. So now some scientists who are devoted to naturalism, unquestioningly, they reject such cases as inauthentic, but they are well documented cases, thoroughly researched cases. So rather than rejecting the cases as inauthentic, authentic scientists reject naturalism, reject over-reliance, exclusive reliance on naturalism, and become open to non-natural explanations. Non-natural means non-material explanations. So for those who are ready for such non-material explanations, then, or to adopt a science which is open to non-material methodologies, then Bhakti Yoga comprises a spiritual science. That this is a science which actually, so when we talk about, let's try to understand what we are doing over here. Science is a tool for acquiring knowledge, and that tool is going to use different strategies. So now, just like a team goes to play cricket, sometimes it uses spin bowling, sometimes it uses pace bowling. So when spin bowling doesn't work, try pace bowling. So like that, science is a method, science is a approach and attitude, a tool for acquiring knowledge. So when we find that by naturalism we can't acquire that knowledge, so naturalism doesn't give us any satisfactory explanation of near-death experiences or past life memories, then we turn and look for another strategy. What is the strategy that I can use to get explanation? And that strategy is to be open to non-natural phenomena, non-naturalism. That means what? Don't assume that all natural phenomena necessarily have natural explanations. So if we become open to non-natural explanations, then we can consider the soul as a possibility. And then Bhakti Yoga is a spiritual science that trains our consciousness, that trains us to perceive higher realities, such as the reality of the soul. And when that reality is directly pursued, that becomes the highest proof. Pratyaksha avagamam dharmyam. The Bhagavad says, by direct experience it will become verified. So what naturalist science is blind to, that which non-naturalist science is open to, that spiritual science gives us a clear perception and comprehension of. Thank you. Hare.